Good morning, friends. Brian King here. If you happen to be watching me live, please type hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, please type hashtag replay. There are a couple guys that I really admire for their commitment to their physical health and so on. One of them is even in this group. And they found a lot of success improving their mindset through physical exercise. And they often comment about how their physical exercise teaches them how they can do more, they can push further, and I applaud them for that. But one thing I want to add to that is that there are other ways to grow your mind. There are other ways to refine your mindset, because there are those of us with physical conditions that don't really have the same kind of ability to exercise at that level. You know, there are people with cerebral palsy who, if they do exercise, can do very little. People with ALS, multiple sclerosis. And my MS is not as advanced as some people that are wheelchair, they need to be in a wheelchair most of the time. They need a lot of care in bed. And the point being that not being able to physically exercise does not take away your ability to refine your mind. There are other ways to do it. One thing that has benefited me greatly over the past 20 years are the practices of Zen, which have taught me how to refine my awareness and my focus in order to discipline my mind. And it is fair to say that the mindset I share with you every day is because of that practice. It isn't because of, exercise or so on. So there's more than one road to Rome. And that's just to preface this next part. Because I've spent so much effort in refining my mind, my attention, self-disciplining myself, one of the things that I've learned through my years of Zen practice is how to change the relationship with my inner critic. The thing that tells me you can't do it, who are you kidding, you're a fraud, how do you deal with your allergies that suddenly kick in when you're doing a Facebook Live video, that kind of stuff. And the key is over time you learn to be an observer of the chatter that the inner critic gives you instead of a recipient of it. And that is a key practice. People that live with ADHD, live with chronic pain, have this reactive way of having conversations about their challenges. Oh, this sucks, this shouldn't happen, why me? This must mean I'm stupid, and all this stuff that you interpret as fact when all it is chatter. It's criticism. It's not truth. And the discipline that comes from mindfulness, that learning those strategies, is learning how to distance yourself from the inner critic and saying, yeah, I hear you, okay. Yeah, you put in your 2 cents, I get it, but I'm not incorporating what you're telling me into my worldview. I'm just letting you chatter. Now, is it easy to change this relationship? Not necessarily, but can it transform your life and help you find more peace and happiness? Absolutely. Now, let me share how this showed up in my life in the past couple days. One thing I haven't announced publicly is that I'm in the process of going through the work to eventually get bariatric surgery. I am 100 pounds overweight, weight that I've accumulated for a variety of reasons, part of which is that it's very hard for me to exercise with my various physical conditions. And my weight is causing these problems to be worse. And my doctors and I agree that probably one of the best ways to help me manage my weight is to get this surgery. Well, it's not like that. They change your insides and voila, weight loss. You've got to change a lot of habits, a lot of things that maybe have been ingrained in your thinking and the way you live your life for decades. And when I was told what I needed to do, there are things I needed to stop eating. I needed to change the way I was eating. And I read in the information they gave me that we can change your stomach, whatever, but if you keep doing the stuff you've been doing, you're going to gain the weight back. So I kind of declared in that moment, I am not about to go through this only to blow it. So I felt that potential agony of failure, and my actions changed like that. Doc said, no coffee. I've been drinking coffee every day for years. Guess what? No coffee today. Water. I'd been fasting in the morning, thinking, okay, well, I'll fast and it'll increase my discipline and I'll prove to myself that, hey, you can feel hungry and you can push through it. And I've been fasting for weeks now, skipping breakfast, just having coffee. Yesterday, my doc says, don't do that. You need to put some protein in every meal, and this is how much you need to put in. Guess what happened today? Water, a couple hard-boiled eggs. Got my protein. Done. And one thing that my doctor was surprised about in talking with me is just how precise the action was that I took, how there was so little hesitation in meeting the criteria that needs to be done in order to kind of embrace this. And I didn't give her the whole spiel because I knew how I was able to do it. It's because of the distance I put between me and that little voice that makes excuses. That inner critic that says, you know, man, what she's really saying, that's just not reasonable. That's going to be too hard for you, Brian. You know, you deserve a donut every now and then. And who says you can't have coffee? There's got to be research out there that says it's perfectly okay to have coffee. You know, all that stuff that your brain gives you to reinforce habits you've always had that don't serve you. And the mindfulness that I teach and that I talk about is all about being aware of that chatter, of that little gremlin that sits on your shoulder and feeds you that nonsense day in and day out that keeps you self-sabotaging. I've learned over the years how to distance myself, how to refine my awareness and my focus to distance myself from that voice. And it's something that I teach my clients on a regular basis through mindfulness strategies, through helping them identify the gremlin and what the gremlin says, and how to put the gremlin kind of in a corner so it doesn't have as much say in your everyday life. So I wanted to share that with you and see if this is something that you would like to learn as well. And if so, we can hop on the phone and talk about more in depth how that would look for you. And if there's somebody that you know who could benefit from this story or this information that I've shared, please feel free to share it with them. I'm sure they'll be grateful. And until next time, remember, life is good.